Good morning,
Alright.
everybody. After a good meal, waking up kind of early, going for a good walk. You want to go for a walk right after the morning. Just get the sun and soak up, get ready for the hard parts of the day. And you could tell by my attire, I'm I'm ready to go outside, ready to do some stuff, do something cool. Jane, how are things on your end?
Well, you can also probably tell from my attire, I'm about to hit the sack in maybe an hour or two after I finish this episode. But yeah, thank you for making the time. And 晚上好 is wow, it's already past midnight. 现在已经是北京时间12点20了。Well, today I think we're going to finish the part two of our, stereotype and differences between the USA and China episode. Shall
Yes,
we?
ma'am.
Do you have anything to add, or let's just get into it?
Let's just get into it.
Get
Yeah, oh my
into it.
goodness. Wait, actually, one thing that I want to say about
Okay.
waking up in the morning is sometimes I wake up after like 8 hours of rest. They say you're supposed to feel well rested after 8 hours. I don't feel well rested after 8 hours. I feel tired, my body hurts, and I feel like, did I even sleep? Um, but that's just a thought drop. Do you feel similar, or is it just me?
Well, to be honest, you look quite like full of spirit to me right now. But yeah,
I had a
I,
good
I
30,
totally,
40 minutes
oh,
to an hour to
I
like,
totally relate
no,
to that.
no, no, wake up!
I totally relate to that. I'm not a neurology scientist, but I sometimes compare it to the launching of a really old computer. It probably takes 20 minutes for for it to load everything, and that's what I usually feel like with my brain as well, especially on working days. Yeah, it takes a while for me to accept, oh, another day.
Yeah, you've got to deal with like the mental. I could just lay down and just knock. But
But
then
I don't think,
then stuff will go bad. And then so you just choose not to.
well, I don't think I have the best like sleeping habits as well, so I probably have that to blame. Like if I spend less time scrolling on the screens till I fall asleep until I have my phone fall on my bed. Like, there's definitely a lot to improve on my pre-sleep schedule. Um,
Me too. I
but
do the
anyway,
same.
yeah. Anyway, today is not about our shitty sleep.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, we went off the tangent
Moving
again.
on.
As you guys know, that off the tangent is probably the subtitle of this show. It is Lost in Translation bracket off the tangent.
A
Anyway.
working title.
Anyway.
Okay,
Okay,
I will go
who's gonna bring
first.
up the question first? Okay, I'm ready.
Let us see. All right. What's Chinese phrase that sounds polite to Americans or any foreigners, but is actually an argument starter?
I can think of so many in reverse. Like the phrases that might sound polite in English, or the things I say in English that is okay to you, but that's a bit awkward to Chinese.
Okay, let's start with that then.
Um, well, like I think we have a common myth here that foreigners you like to ask about age a lot. Like, how old are you?
Like to friends or to like potential lovers? How
No,
old are you?
if there's any stranger that you happen to strike up conversation with.
Like any stranger? Like if I meet somebody on the street, how old are you? Well, if they look older, I'm not gonna ask.
Okay, that's a bit
'Cause that's kind of
awkward.
like that's like asking someone. They don't. Older people don't want to talk about age, so I
Exactly.
wouldn't go there. Well, let's see. If they were my age, would I ask? Not for like small talk. There would need to be a reason for it. Like maybe um, I'm talking to some guy and I'm like, wait, guy, you're really young. Where are your parents? How old are you? And then I would ask them that. But other than that, I feel like it would be a little bit weird to bring it up just as conversation, just as small talk conversation. Because I know we're more likely to have that small talk conversation. But we wouldn't go straight to age as the first thing. I don't think so.
I guess age. Sorry. I guess age was just one example of. Mm, like to you guys, this might be seen as an intrusion to your privacy. I remember the first company that I worked in was an Italian company. I think I've told you that, and I was surprised to find out. Like during one outing I had with my boss, who was Italian. Like he was surprised to find out, oh Jane, you're 22. I probably just mentioned it in our conversation, and I said, yeah, don't you know that I put that on my resume? Like you were supposed to read it on the day I applied for the interview, but he said, no, I didn't really look into that. But in China, if you're applying for a job, it's kind of a necessity, or they just expect you to expose this kind of very personal information. Everybody takes it for granted. And if you go into a Chinese neighborhood, you have those aunties and uncles. It's actually their way of showing their concern about you. Like, how old are you this year, kid? Are you seeing anyone? What's your job in the city? And how much money you're making? Whoa, if you
And how
okay.
much money you're making?
I know
They'll
it seems
ask
a
you that?
lot. It is a lot, even to our generation, to be honest. But like I said, in our traditional like communities, it is their way of showing concern to you because they treat you like families. Ugh. And it's cringy. And yeah, it's
My
not as
goodness.
often.
Oh, and then they're like, make more money. I would hate to tell someone how much money I'm making as I'm making it. Oh my goodness. Jeez.
You know, I used to
Damn.
dread going home because because I live in one of those traditional communities with that is not, like separate rooms, separate floors in those very high residential buildings. I do not live in a house like that. So every time I go out, my neighbors are gonna see it. And all those uncles and aunties, they're gonna come up and they're so curious about what I'm doing every day. They'll be like, where are you heading, Jane? Um, and who are you going to see? They'll go very specific about it. And sometimes I'll be like, I just want to go out and get a breakfast. I don't think there's really much to say about it, but they're just so curious. Um,
I think when I'm first exposed to it, I'd be like, okay, get these aunties out of here. But then I think I would get adjusted to it, and it sounds really endearing. It sounds really sweet that they're so they're so interested and they're so invested in your development, and I think it sounds like they want the best for you, and I think that's a sweet thing.
oh, you're so
So I like
insightful.
it.
You're very insightful because sometimes I thought about it. Yeah, they kind of just like witness my my growth from when I was very little, from the day I was born to all the way when I become what I am right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
an old
used to be
neighborhood.
this big.
You love to say that.
And I
There's
wiped
an
your butt.
uncle in the neighborhood who loves to say, used to pee on my used to pee and when I hold you on my arm, just pee on me when you were so little. Um, anyway,
Oh my goodness.
but going back
Okay.
to your question, what is the Chinese phrase that might sound okay to a foreigner instead, but actually offensive in Chinese? The one that I can think of is 你没事吧? Do you know what that
You
means?
may sure. I probably shouldn't have said it if I don't know and if it's offensive.
No, no.
I think this is
It's
a good
only
question because people like me, we can get a better idea of what not to say, at least unintentionally.
mostly there are many examples that I can think of. Um, like corresponding to this question. And this one, I don't think it's very far-fetched. It is related, but it's very contextual. So the literal translation for 你没事吧 is are you okay? So it actually sounds like an expression of concern, right?
So sweet. That's so endearing.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
sweet.
yeah. Well, if
Are
you
you
see
okay?
someone like got tripped over on the street, you like come over and try to lift them up and you say 你没事吧? That is definitely a concern. There's no second meaning to it. But, Chinese is one of those languages that is very indirect and roundabout. So if you're in kind of like disagreeing situation with someone, you're kind of in the middle of an argument, and that person comes up with 没事吧? You see, if the tone is more intense, 你没事吧? The right translation for it becomes, what is the matter with you? What's wrong with you? Really? Seriously, what's wrong with you for voting for it? You know,
It goes from "Are you all right?" to "Why are you not all right?" Oh my goodness.
instead of using very explicit language, this is probably the cleanest one that you can go in kind of an argument, and this is very personal, definitely. So if you're in the middle of an disagreeing situation and the other one comes up, 你没事吧? You should know it's going to take a bad turn. But
Oh my
but they're
goodness. I love that.
it's going to take a bad turn,
Wow.
but they're not using any explicit language. So yeah, you should know that person is very well behaved. Like if that's the worst they can come up in an argument, then that's not too bad, I would say.
Now I know what not to say in certain situations. And it's a little bit nuanced because it's not in every situation is bad.
I
It's like
don't.
when the tone is already bad of the situation.
Yeah,
That's really interesting. All right.
yeah. Watch
Thank you
out.
so much, Mrs. Jane.
Hey,
Yeah,
why are
I
you
will watch that.
doing this?
Oh,
This is
I
another.
just do this on my own. Has nothing to do
Oh,
with anything.
I thought you were paying any kind of homage to some
No, no,
Asian,
no.
because I see people do that on American series. Like when they're interacting with Asian roles, they would do this and they do some kind of bow as a way of showing gratitude. And I was so confused. I was like,
Yeah.
no, nobody's doing that here. We don't do that. Please.
No, 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 no. Okay, I was just gonna say that.
Wow,
I'm ready for your question.
you gotta be super careful talking with me now. Because every move of you is so critically mm, judged.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stand
Okay.
like this.
Oh, so my turn. Sorry, I got carried away. Ooh,
Ooh, I'm ready. I'm so ready. I'm so
I,
ready.
This
sort of.
one is a bit
I can predict the question before I
intense.
even say it.
I hope it doesn't
Taking it
take
right now.
off. I hope it doesn't take the smile off you. Uh, But yeah, I'm coming from a very respectful place. But is it true that almost all Americans own guns and that people live under the constant threat of random gun violence? And overall, what's the dominant public attitude towards gun ownership? Sorry. I'm glad you're still smiling.
Okay, we're getting into it now. Okay,
Oh,
okay. Does everybody own? So there's like three questions in this one question. First question is everybody own guns?
almost
Um,
everybody own guns.
almost everybody. Well, I would say if I had to guess, I would say it's less than 40%. So not almost
Oh,
everybody.
oh,
And additionally, I would say not everybody agrees with us having guns. Some people like the guns because it's associated with our ability to rebel against the government if they go bad, because we are always suspicious of something the government might be doing, because for good reason. In Europe, when you look at the tax that you're doing, I hear that you can see like the percentages that your tax is going to, like whether it's going to school or maybe the roads or hospitals. But in USA, you cannot see where it's going at all. So it leaves a lot of room for just ambiguity. We're kind of, there's a lot of stuff that's just happening behind the curtain. So people are suspicious. So having something that empowers us is is really empowering. So some people are for it, and other people are like against it because of the violence that's usually associated with it. And it's not the guns, obviously, that cause the violence, but it amplifies anybody who wants to cause violence. So, yeah, so not everybody has guns, not everybody is for guns. I think that's a good answer to the first question. What was the second half or second
no,
part?
I
Or what
think
do you think about that? What's your what's your input?
I'm not sure if I'm in a position to have any input because I've never experienced it. I don't live in a society that allows guns. It's just, well, okay, the reality coming from you is actually not as serious as I thought. Like 40% is way better than what I expect to of like probably 90-80%. That was how bad I thought it was. Um I'm a little bit curious though. Are there like
That was how
contracts?
bad you thought it was.
The media like portrayed it really badly. Um,
I'm sorry. What was the question?
but yeah, this comes from me. I'm curious. Do you have gun checks on like some public transportation center or just public places when there's like gun checks on the entrance? Because here, for example, on the metro, there's an like there's a check on the entrance that you have to have all your belongings scanned to see if there are some weapons or just sharp stuffs or any dangerous mm, things.
That is a good question. Honestly, I don't really know. We don't use, or I don't use the metro, and just in general, we
Have you
don't
ever?
use public transportation as much. So
You got me
I
there.
can't
That's
really,
so
I can't really
American.
answer that too well.
have you ever taken a
We
train
just
trip?
never,
Or you
never,
just,
never gone on a train.
my gosh, you
I've
just,
always imagined climbing the train and then like sitting at the top of it while it's riding, but I've never ridden inside of it.
my gosh. So Americans really do just drive everywhere. I guess if there's highway to the North Pole, you can you're gonna just drive there.
That would be nice. That would be nice. But I definitely would like to ride a train sometime. There's a train that goes from where I live to Chicago, and I definitely want to take that commute. It sounds nice. And you don't even have to worry about any traffic. It's just one straight trip. It sounds really efficient. It sounds really cool.
Exactly, exactly. If you live in China, trains gonna like I think it's almost as common as bus because our network, our public transportation network is really developed. Um, so yeah, I guess we accidentally hit on another difference there, like our way of commute and just like more go-to ways of transportation. For you guys, I guess
Two birds with one stone. There we go. Look at us. My
the
goodness. That's
reaction.
crazy.
That okay, your turn.
Yeah, but okay, there was. Does everybody have a gun? Not everybody. Guns are expensive. One gun is like at least like $700, give or take. And if you want like a good gun, it's gonna be way more. Maybe like 1,200 or more. You've got to maintain it, and ammunition isn't expensive, but it's just another thing. Um, and I think there is a lot of violence that's associated with guns, but it's also kind of an art form like archery. We go to the gun range. I go to the gun range, and we shoot, and it's more of an art form, and it's about accuracy and being able to hold your breathing, and there's so many things you have to keep in check. And similar to archery, it's a skill that's really, and it's an activity that's really relieving to do. And then once you're done, you feel great. It's really nice.
Ouch. What is that?
It's like this open field, and there's a bunch of targets. Sometimes they're indoors, but I've only been to outdoors. And there will be different targets of varying ranges. There will be one at 50 meters, one at 100, one at 200, and then those are the most common distances that I've seen. They might go even farther, but those are the most common ones. It's kind of hard to hit anything after 200 meters. But I can only hit things at about 100, but I'm working my way up to the 200 meters. What's your thoughts, Mrs. Jane?
That is really far away and enough for you to kill, a real life target if you want.
Don't think
Because,
about it like killing. It sounds so deep when you say it like that.
but besides that, because when you were describing your gun range, all I was thinking about in my head was how, like, the only guns I ever touched here was those toy guns that we shoot on like shoot on the fun fair. Like there are gonna be like strings of balloons tied up in a board that's maybe three, 3 meters away, and I shoot them with my toy guns. And those bullies, they're like little plastic bullies. So I was thinking, yeah, that was enough if you want it for fun. Like, why do you have to make it so real, so serious? Like you can shoot something from 200, 100 meters away, and I believe that the guns or the tools I use in the gun range is like just like very real guns.
I think it's basically just like your toy guns. It's really similar.
I wish I could
But
believe
no,
that.
that's kind of like saying, why would somebody study a martial art for so many years? It's so real. Are you trying to beat somebody up? It's it's not about the fighting or the hurting somebody. It's more about the skill of being able to master something with the authentic materials to the way the craft is actually done. Um, so I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. Maybe it's just
Mm.
difference of perspective, but I think it's awesome.
Okay, what kind of, other scenario do you think those skills will be needed?
Well, what do you mean like in other skills? Like transferable skills?
You have the transferable skills from the practice you do in those gun ranges. I Perhaps it trains your eyesight, it trains your I don't know. What do you want to get from, all those practices in the gun range? Other than just having fun.
Think not only is it fun, but you feel really relieved. It's very cathartic. I like that word for this situation. It's very cathartic. It just, whenever there's something like all the pressure or stress you might have, it's relieved really well, I think, after being in that environment. At least for me. Maybe it's different for other people. But I think it's really relieving, it's really cathartic to be in there, and that's definitely transferable to everything else you do.
I
But
believe so.
in addition to that, the ability to focus and pay attention, account to details that you normally would think should go unnoticed or would think as trivial, paying attention to those details because when you're talking about anything precision related, these details always matter and they're exacerbated with distance. So everything must be perfect. And that kind of goes into everything. Paying attention to the sharp details, it could go into baking, to go could go into coding, or anything else that requires like a hands-on technique, such as archery or a martial art.
I
And
agree. And
it's not that deep, but I think it's a really nice thing.
I agree. There are always like good sides to it that, well, I guess a lot of things are like a double-edged sword. It's about how do you decide to wield this weapon. It just, I guess, there needs to be more um, safety or precautious measures in place for like guns being used for bad purposes. Like you don't know if the one that's training beside you is a maniac or a sociopath who is also honing their skills of, you know, I shouldn't laugh. But yeah, I'm glad to learn that the reality is not as bad as what I'm seeing on the media. Like it is literally just gun violence, potential gun violence everywhere.
Yeah, double-edged sword, definitely. There's good and there's bad in it, and it's a big gray area kind of thing.
I find it interesting because um I think when like RPC was just established, there was also a lot of like societal violence going on because really sharp weapons and really like destructive weapons weren't totally banished or or abandoned yet. And of course, it caused a lot of like societal turbulence. And and somehow I'm also reminded of COVID-19 because it reminds me that a lot of the measures or China's attitude towards a lot of like serious societal or just handy societal problem, we just like go 100 or 0. Like we tend to go for the extremes. It's either we like clear all of it, or or we just don't. And I guess one potential reason for that is again the population. It, the population is so big and there's such diversity to it, and the education level is so different. So that is probably the safest way to control it, to control the risk. Mm. So yeah, nowadays, at least when it comes to my generation, guns doesn't exist anymore. But it used to exist in my parents' generation. And
I didn't know that.
again, like COVID in the USA, for us, it's just lockdown or not. And in the USA, I guess there's always more wiggle room to those like very polarized social problems.
I didn't know that your parents' generation had guns. That's really interesting. And that's a surprise to me. Wow.
But
Well,
you thought we
we
never had
should. How many
ever had a
questions did we
gun?
get in? I think I asked you a question, you asked me a question.
Yeah, then we wrap it up. And then we go to get into the Chinese.
Okay. Should we both ask one question? Just like a quick question.
Balancing out. Okay. Not like go for a simpler one.
Yeah, quick question. Okay. Rapid
Okay, I have
fire.
one.
All right. You
I
have
have a-
30 seconds to answer. All right. Why are there so many ways, or no,
wait.
how many
Sorry.
ways are there?
Please. Sorry, please start over again. No, my tablet just dropped.
That's okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. How many ways are there to say you in Chinese? And which one is the nicest and which one is the rudest?
In Chinese or in Mandarin you're talking about?
It's a good question. In Mandarin.
Okay, thank you. Because if it's in Chinese, I don't think I'm gonna like be able to enumerate them tonight. um, but I think the two most I think there are the only two ways really, because it 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 goes further. I think it falls more on the like ancient Chinese category than Mandarin. But usually it's just ni. I'm sure you know this word, right?
Oh, yes.
And
This question I found online. It implied that there were more, but I didn't want to look into it because I just didn't
actually,
want to.
yeah, actually,
I didn't want to spoil it.
actually has a point. There is more than ni, of course, but not so much. We also have another one, which is ning. Do you know that
I
word?
know.
And do you know the
Yes.
difference?
The difference is, I guess in Spanish, it's kind of like ni
Oh,
would be like tú, or nin would be like usted, and ni, like an I, is just for the default for just normal situations, but nin is a bit more formal. If you're ordering food, maybe the waiter would refer you to you as nin or something like this.
yeah,
Yes?
yeah, great summarization. But um, okay, there's perhaps one thing more I like to add because in Chinese culture, um, seniority is very important. So, except for formal situation and normal situation, if I'm talking to a senior, then it's better if I address them as 您, especially in more
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Similar to
especially in
Spanish
more formal
also.
settings. And perhaps it doesn't even have to be so formal. If you don't know this person very well, then it's better you go with 您 to show that you're a very respectful person or just a decent person.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
You
me
think it
and
could
you,
sound stiff?
yeah,
Like, oh, that's too formal. Don't use "nin." Like, we're bros. Use "nin."
okay, we're bros and we're also around the same age. So
Oh, okay.
I
So it's a
guess,
bit weird.
if to summarize it, well, sometimes like if I like because the ping of them is so similar, and sometimes if I accidentally typed Ning because I typed too quick on my chat, like on my chat with my friends, and the name pops up, they'll be like, "Whoa, whoa, you don't
I
have
did
to.
that
That's
too.
unnecessary."
They're
Like, what
like,
is going
whoa,
on,
tone
Sage?
it down. Wait, hey, wait,
Like, wait, what is going on with you today?
wait,
This is
wait, wait.
unnecessary, please.
Wow. I think I've done that a few times.
Oh, because the difference in spelling in the word "ning," there's an extra like hard radical beneath the "ni." So "ning" equals "ni" plus heart plus "xin." So I remember how this is how my Chinese teacher used to explain this to us when we were little. She said that when you express "ni" with a heart, that means you're that means you're putting like extra respect and mm, yeah, and genuine and and be more genuine to this person you're talking
Heart is
to,
at the
so it
bottom,
makes sense.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I know my, I know my stuff, Jane. Okay.
So let's summarize the few rules. First of all, if you're talking to a senior, and if you're using this in a very formal setting, and and by seniority, it doesn't have to be just by age. Like if you're talking to a client, someone like senior in significance, that also applies. So more senior in age, in significance, and or in business or formal settings, then Ning is preferred.
Formal settings, age, significance,
Important. Yes.
and importance. All right. Sounds good.